This is the Living Members Podcast.
This is the Living Numbers Podcast. All right, and I have one of my good friends, also a co-worker, right? And you all know how we do it. Whenever I have somebody on, I have to give them a very distinct intro, okay? All right, this out. She has not seen this.
No, I have not. I'm excited.
All right, here we go. The notorious writer from Room 104, the master of all things creative, the person who hates my green jacket,
Yes.
always rocking, always laughing, my A1 from day one, CJ, or Jacob, or Christina,
Hey.
however I call her name.
Yeah. Yeah. You do call me Christina and Jacob. Like,
Yep, all of those.
synonymously.
Exactly.
Okay. So
Where do you want to start?
So what I was trying to tell you earlier
Okay.
was
Yes.
I had a kid come up to me like, "Hey,
All right.
can I talk to you?"
Story time, guys.
Yeah, story time. So I'm like, "Yeah, of course you can talk to me." And he was like, "Well, I take all these AP classes, AP Physics, AP Biology, but the class that's the hardest is Mr. Franklin.
Ah!
Professional Communications." I said, "Are you sure? Professional Communications, Mr. Franklin."
I don't mess around.
Yeah, you have no idea everything he makes us do. I'm just really bad at public speaking. I was like, "Well, does he let y'all use note cards? Do y'all let?" He said no. So
Sometimes it depends on what we're doing. This past one was pretty extensive. They got a PowerPoint, so why do you need note cards?
okay.
So
Do you take points off if they read it verbatim?
if they turn away, so think about it like this: if we're doing a podcast, right? This is on YouTube.
Lesson time. Yes, learning moment.
And say I have a PowerPoint and I'll read like this. This is the Living Numbers Podcast, and I am your host, Tony Rambos. Like, share, subscribe, download,
Share.
follow,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That
Of
makes
course,
sense.
do all of those things: like, share, subscribe, download.
Okay, but I'm guilty of doing that at times.
But if you do that, you're
we
gonna
have our
lose
days.
points.
Have you done that?
In my class? No.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Think
teach.
back to your first year teaching speech.
Okay.
You're gonna tell me you never read verbatim from the PowerPoint.
But you can't do your whole presentation like that.
Okay, sure, agreed.
Yeah, so
Agreed.
you'll lose some points. But if you start there but you don't stay there, then you'll be fine.
What do you have them working on right now?
Right now, it's funny because I talked to my kids and I was like, okay, we're going to start our teamwork unit.
Okay.
The funny thing is, I've had them working in teams since day one.
So it means nothing to them. That doesn't phase them.
Don't say that.
It really
Okay?
doesn't. Okay.
We're just looking at it from a different angle. So we're going to talk about equity and equality and diversity. So now we're kind of getting into the intricacies of working with people who are not like you.
Right.
And so
Right.
before, sometimes I will pick the groups kind of randomly because in the beginning of the year, you don't know all your kids yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I also let them pick their own groups just to kind of, I want to see what happens when they're in groups that they choose, when they're with their buddies, basically. And so now that I pretty much know all of my kids for the most part, know who my leaders are, know who people who cannot be in groups no matter what. I know all of the
I was
ins
waiting
and
for that
outs.
part. I was waiting
Oh,
for
yeah.
that part.
You know, some people, they...
So do they see it coming though? Do they know that you're about to split them up?
Yeah, I
Or
tell
are you
them.
gonna let them stay together?
I tell them all the time whenever I'm about to change groups.
You're
Like,
that
all right,
teacher. He's
I'm
that
changing
teacher.
groups, y'all.
He's that teacher. Reads from the PowerPoints.
I never read from the
Changing up the
PowerPoint like
seating
that.
charts. You're
Yeah,
that teacher.
a great teacher. Just ask around.
Yeah. I mean, hey, room 104. That's where it's at. That's where we all met.
Yes.
Fun fact. Franklin
Wait,
and I-
not in 104.
Wait, yeah, you used to come.
Was
to
that
my-
always your room?
You'd be like, Jacob, what are we doing today? And I'd be like, this dude would come in with this green jacket talking about some,
Okay.
I'm from Detroit.
I am from Detroit.
Okay.
Y'all see what time it is?
And this doesn't help that I'm also wearing a
Exactly.
green jacket.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's actually our
Yeah.
first number, 104, which is CJ's room.
Yep.
And we've been teaching together for
Almost 5 years.
Almost
It's been
5
almost
years.
5 years. Since Harvey, when Harvey first
2017.
started. Yep. Yep. What a crazy year. I
Yeah.
mean, and then now, what? 3 years later, we have a pandemic. So, see how that worked.
We've lived through some
Crazy
ridiculous times.
What do you think is like the biggest change though from like teaching then and now? Since we're almost at that like 5-year mark, what would you say is kind of like that? I know, I make it seem like it's so
Learning
long.
intentions and success criteria.
Yes. Oh, that's so true.
Okay, we're not going to get ourselves in trouble on this
Right,
podcast, right?
It's true though. It's true.
The thing that has changed the most, now, I came into it at a point where technology was something that it was something that they wanted us to use. Now it's something that we have to use
Right.
no matter what. It's like you have to make sure that you're using your stuff on Schoology or whatever y'all use out there, Blackboard, whatever.
Yeah, Canvas. There's a bunch of them.
Exactly. So you have to make sure that you're using that technology. I think that is the biggest change that I've seen so far, at least off the top of my head. What
Yeah.
about you?
I think for the longest, I mean, English teachers, we always use Turnitin. So that hasn't changed. I mean, people
Right.
still plagiarize. But now it's like all their written stuff is always on Turnitin, or we have it through some type of device
Just
that like lets
everything.
it know. Yeah, just everything. Because a lot of times people just go to like essays.com
Yep.
or like Tutors Today and like buy their stuff. And I'm
Yep.
like, dude, this is not your
We're
writing.
this is not going to fly. I know that you don't write this
Yeah,
way.
exactly.
That's the
right.
part-
Especially when I had you last year and you're like online and now you're in person. So yeah, it's a 180, y'all. I mean, feeling for all our teachers out there and what they're
Yes.
going through with the transition.
Yes, because, I mean, and we really love what we do.
Yeah.
I would say we're those teachers that embrace it. We're ourselves in the classroom.
absolutely.
I always think I couldn't imagine not loving being a teacher and doing it. Just with the amount of work that it takes, the mental, work that it takes. Because,
capacity,
the mental capacity.
It's really
is
the
so
student
much.
relationship. So like going to their games, going to their events, like being able to like see them out there, like out of the classroom setting
Right.
where we can really see the same thing when they see us.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, oh hey Mr. Franklin, hey Miss Jacob. We're like, nope. But to an extent,
What's up, y'all?
To an extent, we're happy to see them, and I'm sure they're happy too. So
You
it's,
see
like,
kids
self-fit.
just out sometimes, like if you go to Walmart. Or
Yeah.
something.
Oh yeah. Down Highway 6 all the time. I had a group of graduates that came up to me and like put me on their snap like, it's Miss Jacob, and they graduated like
What
3
did they
years
do?
ago.
Show me
I'm
again.
like, Miss Jacob, come and get this snap. Like no, I'm good.
It just kind of for me, because I've seen kids out. Usually at Walmart.
It's weird, right? It's weird. And they look in your cart like, what is Mr. Franklin buying? Like,
I don't
he's
mind.
getting that Kroger brand. Oh, he's getting that name brand. Like, that's what they do. They're nosy. They're nosy.
I'm nosy too.
Oh.
So
So you look at what
honestly,
they're
I
shopping for,
don't
too?
mind. It just kind of depends on the kid. If they're looking like don't even come over here, then I'll just probably just
Give them a little
just
head
a little
nod.
head nod and
Yep,
just keep going.
And keep moving.
But if they're like, hey, then I'll
But
go
you know
talk
what?
to
The
them.
masks help. The masks help in that way. But some of them can still tell it's you, right?
Some of them haven't even seen me since I started growing my hair.
Wait, Franklin, do you have an aesthetic in your classroom that everyone knows you for? Like for me, it's my candles, right? My little wax smell. Everyone's like, Miss Jacob, your room always smells really good. Does anyone know you for something in your classroom other than being a really hard teacher and failing kids? Yeah. Other than that, what are you known for in your classroom?
In my classroom,
Yes. Don't tell me no group learning.
not
Think deeper.
necessarily. No.
Okay.
Not necessarily anything that's in my classroom. I think I'm known for always having a tie on.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. That's very distinct.
That's one of the things, because people will say, oh, you have on a suit. I'm like, not a suit, just a tie. But I get
Yeah.
it. I think that's one of the things that I'm definitely known.
Do you take a lot of pride in that? Like having
yes.
different ties?
Because
right,
I
you
look
do
so
have
young.
Yeah, you have an array of ties.
I do.
And a
I
lot
had
of
about
teachers
30
don't.
something.
What? You have 30 something ties?
Probably
different colors?
maybe a little more, yeah.
Wow.
When I worked at Chase,
Wow.
no, not at Chase. When I worked at iMasters, now VisionWorks, I had to wear ties.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I got my check, I would go to Ross or Marshalls,
And
I
keep
would
it
just
coming.
buy a couple of ties.
What about bow ties?
No,
Would you ever try bow ties?
No.
Why not? Bow
No.
ties could be cool and fancy,
They can.
sophisticated.
Just
It's a little quirky too if you can kind of style it right. You know?
I'm good.
You could try it and see how it goes.
I could try, but
we
I
could
would
take a
not.
vote. And
No,
be like, does
there is
Mr.
no vote.
Franklin
Okay.
look better with a tie or a bow tie?
You keep calling me Franklin. I don't know if they know that's my name.
Do they not know your name is Franklin?
I don't know.
You just call me Jacob, Christina.
But that's your name. That's what I call
your
you
name
by.
too.
My name is
Franklin.
Tony Rambles. This is the Living Numbers Podcast. Make sure you guys follow me on IG at _ Tony
Like,
Rambles _
share.
Yes. You can email the show at what? One Tony Rambles at gmail.com.
Let me ask you this though: how often do you check those emails though?
All the time. It's on my phone. Nobody emails me.
Okay. That's what I was waiting on.
I usually get more traction on my social media, on my IG, and then of course on my I share everything to my Facebook page.
What's your thoughts on TikTok? I know it's like a huge
What about
thing. People have their different views on it. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's
Or
just
maybe even having your social media on TikTok.
it's just more social media.
It is.
I'm not
It is.
naturally a social media person, but I know that having a podcast, you have to be on social media.
So you're like not a social media, but like a media person. Clearly,
I have to
but they
be.
have
I don't have a
podcast
choice.
and all. Yes.
So I just have my Instagram. That's pretty much it, and you can reach me there. All right. Also, I'm on YouTube,
Yes.
so I get views there as well. It's fun.
Ooh, maybe you can talk about the happiness stuff.
All right. Segue. All right. So our number now is actually a date. So November 8th, 2019.
Woo!
And that was the day that me, Jacob, and another student at
Yes,
the time, we were
yes.
talking about kind of what's next in
Yeah.
life.
That's when I went. The next month, I went back to grad school because of y'all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just remember,
Life changing.
I'll just tell you what I remember from the conversation. I remember that you were just kind of thinking about what was next
Yeah.
and wanting to do something that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like, okay, this is the next step. Go along the path that all teachers go down. But okay, what do I want for myself? And you were talking about writing.
Yeah. My first love was writing. And I just was so fascinated with it. I'm like, you know what? I want to teach writing to people. I want to show that whether it's a narrative style of writing, whether it's, I don't know, persuasive writing, that there's so many different ways to write. Whatever level that you're on, we can
Right.
get you to where you need to be.
Yep.
But then I guess I just realized that I haven't been doing my own writing. And that was so tragic because I started off creative writing, research
Right.
writing, and then too busy teaching it that I didn't have time for myself.
You didn't write.
Yeah.
I was like, just do it. Like, what are we waiting on?
Well, y'all read my little short story
Yep.
that was published on Thoroughfare magazine in 2017. Yes, go check that out. Yes.
Yeah, check it out. All the pub.
Y'all read that and you're like, Jacob,
What are you
back to
doing?
school.
Go
Yes,
right.
Yes. Man, I don't think my life would have been the same. I mean, I'm finishing up now. I graduate in spring, so it's really exciting. Ah! You know, all the student debt too is really exciting.
Oh, wow.
Lots of student debt.
I'm good.
Stuff. Yep.
And everybody's like, oh, go back and get your master's. Why? No.
Well, do you feel complacent? Let's start there.
No.
Because I felt complacent. That's why I wanted to go back to school. I was like, I need to do something. I need
Well,
to challenge myself.
That's what this is for me. Because I feel like I can do, I guess, anything. You know.
You guess.
I know that's
No, you can't.
I didn't want to sound
Absolutely.
arrogant. I feel like I can do a bunch of different stuff.
I guess I can. No, you can. Absolutely. Why not?
I feel like
Carter, too, would encourage you.
my boy.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, son.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I can do a lot of different things. But I'm like, okay, where is my lane? Where's my area
Your
of
why?
expertise?
Your why?
Not my why. That's so cliche. People say that all the time.
Okay, so what's the difference?
What am
start
I?
there.
What am I gifted at? Like, what did God give me? And that is my ability to communicate, to speak, to tell stories, to get other people to feel comfortable and to share and to tell their stories. And so that's what kind of came from this. And so I also use this as a teaching tool as well, where we can talk about things that have helped us.
Absolutely.
Like last episode, me and Kia, my wife, we talked just about the principles in our marriage that have helped us become, or help us to have a good parenting, partnership, because that's kind of a different phase of life. So if you don't have the foundation, then it's hard to kind of transition into that. And I think we've done it very well, but it didn't start now 8 years in. It started from day one. So using this platform to tell stories like that as well, so people are like, oh, okay, yeah, there is a different way to do this. Or I can use my voice, or I can be, whoever God made me to be, okay, do that. And so that's what I feel like this is for me. So it was never about going back to school, going to get a master's, because that's kind of what the teacher lane is. Now, you went and got your master's and started to write.
Yeah.
A little bit different. A lot of people, they'll go get their master's because they want to go into admin, or they want to transition into somewhere else.
I got a lot of questions about that. Like, Christina, why don't you just go into admin? Because that's not where my heart resides, right?
Nope. Exactly. Mine neither.
Yeah. He's saying this because we just talked about what he needs to do. Maybe go back to school. But, I mean, hey, I'm hearing you out here. I mean, are you just going to take some time maybe to decide what you need to do? That's the hardest part, right? Discerning between what the Lord wants for us and what we want for ourselves.
Okay, so
hearing that voice and being able to know the difference.
So the Bible says, "Seek ye first the kingdom," right? Mm-hmm. So that's what the difference is, right? Are you seeking the kingdom first before you start to make decisions? And I can honestly say that I was and have been, because we went through this training called Unique. Shout out to Pastor Carlos and Inspiration Church. You can also go follow them on YouTube and watch the sermons. You'll see me on there singing, actually. If you want to see,
we just need advertising for
Tony
the podcast. So yes, if you have an advertisement, by all means, hit him up. The email that never gets any responses. Yeah, he'll respond now.
So we went through this training called Unique, and it was basically helping you to find your areas of giftedness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was it more like a few days worth of a seminar or training?
Oh, no, it was weeks.
Oh,
so
wow.
Every Sunday we would be there for like maybe an hour after church, and we did it for 8 weeks.
Did it kind of dip into like the fruits of the Holy Spirit, the gifts of the Holy Spirit, that kind of stuff, or was it more like less spiritual, more?
It's both.
Okay.
So first it talks about God's story, and then it talks about your story, and then how God is kind of intertwined through it all. And then it starts to talk about the things that you enjoy doing, the things that come easy to you. There's one thing that you have to send out a text message, and like, what do people, what 3 words would describe you if people were to send that back?
That's always a really great exercise.
It is.
I think you reached out.
I feel like you did.
And
I sent
me.
it to you, yeah.
Do you remember what I said?
Nope. I'm pretty sure I can go find it.
Wow, bad friend, guys.
I'm pretty sure I can go find it. Anyway, we went through that training. And so at the end of it, you have to make a 10-week goal. I said 10 weeks, 10 episodes.
Okay.
So I think I ended up doing 8 because the first week I was like trying to get stuff together and figure it out. And I did record another episode, but it was technical difficulties. I think the sound or something was messed up. But I did actually get 8 episodes out of it, and I just been ever since uploading, trying to get as much as I can. I've slowed down a bit just with Carter being born, but I'm still trying to keep going.
And I think that's what counts here, the consistency.
Yeah,
you're trying, content. And that's what we can really do, right?
Gotta keep putting out good
content. I think two characteristics that we both share is the fact that we make people feel comfortable.
Yes.
Right, we're very friendly. Like, that's something that like really brought us together. So what do you think, just asking yourself here now, like what is one of your greatest strengths?
I think you just said it.
Other than those two? Yeah, think deep. Come on now.
Bringing people together, making people feel comfortable. Connecting.
Okay, so community, yeah. But something
I'm introspective.
Okay.
So
you want to define that for us, sir? Go ahead.
Sure. I look at myself with a critical eye because I never want to not do my best. And if I can get better, then I'm going to do what I can to get better. So whether that's, being a teacher, or whether that is singing on stage, on Sundays.
Well, no, let's not do that now.
No, really,
that's
really,
awesome.
really.
That's awesome.
So
Just never really seen that, so that's really interesting.
Well,
to see.
you know where to find.
Please
me.
let me know what that looks like, or not.
From the beginning, at the beginning, it was. I didn't want to sing. Like, I was very shy. I'm like, oh no, singing in front of
That's
people, I
usually how
would
it
never do
starts.
that.
Right.
But now, like, I'm at a place where, you know,
You're comfortable.
I lead people into worship.
That's great. That's awesome.
This is my job.
Praise God. Yeah.
So, but I have continued to challenge myself throughout the process. Like, just getting better, as good as I can be. I'm not an A+ singer, okay? So.
I mean, hey, we knew that one. Right. We knew that one.
She's never heard me sing anyway. But even with my guitars, right? I don't want to just play guitar. Like, I want to be good at it.
I just want to say, prior to entering this room, to this podcast,
Yes.
I had no idea Tony could play the guitar. 3 at that. 3. 4. There's a 4th one.
So I really
side.
only play this blue one. The electric, I love the electric sound. Acoustic is not really my thing. But I bought these 2 acoustic guitars.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, when I walked in, he had this YouTube video playing, so I was like, "No, that's
You're
not him.
lying.
That's totally not him."
That was me.
So,
That was me.
so I heard YouTube play guitar.
The scripture that I keep in mind whenever I, you know, talk about just doing what God is calling me to do is Colossians 3:23. It says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters." And that is the NIV version. So whatever I do, I'm like, okay, how does God get the glory out of this? So whether that's teaching or whether that's talking to a student because they screwed up something, or whether it is like apologizing to my students because I screwed up something.
Yeah.
I think we can't think of ourselves as, you know.
Man, they love that.
high
They
and mighty.
love when you take accountability and
Yeah.
you're like, "Hey, y'all, like, I'm sorry about that."
That's
Like,
my
hey,
fault.
it's fine. It's good. It's all good.
Like Mr.
They
Franklin,
don't really
nobody
see
cares.
like adults
No.
apologizing.
And that's so sad
I know.
because
It really is.
we have to model it. I remember,
It's accountability.
yeah,
It is.
we want them to be accountable, but, you know, sometimes we're not.
Yeah.
I remember,
Yeah.
story time. I
Of course, another story by
I was
Tony Rambles.
in the hallway, and there was these 2 kids,
Mm-hmm.
and it was after the bell rang. So I'm like, hey, you know, y'all, hey, get to class, blah, 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 right? Normal stuff. And so one of them said something like, I don't,
I
it was
already
bad.
know it. I could just tell just
Like,
by the body
just-
language and all of it. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't gotta, you know, fill in the words. Y'all know what y'all kids be saying.
All of it.
And I was like, what? So I really felt like my dad at the moment. So
What did you say to me?
exactly, just like, what did you say? So I walked down, I turned the corner. I'm like, what did you say? You want to say that again? And so I feel like I had escalated that situation instead of de-escalating like we're supposed to do as adults and as teachers. I'm not supposed to go on 10 if the kids are on 10. I'm supposed to help try to bring them down to 5. And so one of the kids actually ended up getting ISS, and I went down there. I think this
must
probably
have
happened
been
like the Thursday.
recent.
No, it was
At least this year or 2020.
I think it was last school year.
Okay.
It was definitely last school year. So I went down to ISS and I pulled the kid out and I was like, you know, I'm going to take responsibility for my part here. And so I feel like I could have brought the situation down, but I was on 10 because y'all got on 10. And I guess I was just
Yeah.
having
You
a
matched
day.
the energy.
I
That's what
matched it.
you really did. That's
And
what happened in the moment.
We can't match the energy. We got to
It's
set the
really
energy.
hard though, because you're
can
just
be.
like, man, why are they coming at me like this?
Right.
But then it's like, all right, I'm the adult here.
Yeah.
Let me take it back a notch.
The thing is
Yeah.
I try to explain to my kids like this. Okay, what if a 5-year-old, right? You're 15, anywhere from 14 to 18. I say, what if a 5-year-old came up to you and said, I don't have to listen to, get the F out of my face.
Baffled.
They would go, well, no way. I wouldn't, they
No,
get this
absolutely not.
defensive, right? I'm like,
Potty mouth.
you know, that's how much older. I'm older than that to a lot of y'all.
Oh, we know, Tony. We recognize how old you are. No worries.
All right, so we've come to the end of our wonderful podcast.
Lots of topics discuss, can focus.
As we always do. And we have today in history. So, today, September 20th, 1873. Panic sweeps the New York Stock Exchange. New York shuts banks down for 10 days due to a bank scandal.
Ooh. Find out more in next episode.
No, you will not. No, I actually wanted to ask, like, once COVID happened, a lot of people started investing. Did you get into any of that?
No, I have a friend that's actually going to stop teaching to teach a course on stock marketing and
Really?
all that stuff. Yeah.
A course?
Yeah, she wants to teach like a crash course. So maybe you can have her on. It'll be perfect segue into.
Maybe.
Yeah, she's all about Bitcoin. She's all about just being able to learn more about it, no matter what stage you're in, whatever financial means.
Beginner, middle.
Crypto
experience.
as well. She's really interested in crypto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We bought some Dogecoin.
Yeah.
It's just in there. Like, we're not planning on it as our retirement.
But you at least have it.
Yeah,
and
we have
that's what
some.
matters.
So if it
Yeah.
pops,
you get a
and-
profit.
yeah.
And who knows how much you'll get.
Exactly.
So it's always good to have that. But yes, I'll definitely look into that.
A lot of people got into, investing and buying in stocks and stuff.
Since, the pandemic.
Because everything crashed. So everything was at a good price to buy. I wish I would have bought, like, airlines.
Oh.
Yeah. Because
That would have been a smart decision.
people are always going to have to fly.
Always.
No matter what. So that would have been a good investment.
But didn't sales kind of go down, like, for a little bit? Especially during
Dramatically.
COVID? But then it started picking up during the summer.
I'm saying,
Right.
like, people are always going to have to get around. So just like everyone will always need to have a place to live, people will always eat food. So those are, like, safe bets.
What did you guys end up investing in?
I don't know. I don't remember. I remember
Well, you
the
better check
Dogecoin.
that. We'll see how that goes.
I mean, it wasn't anything that we can't, that we're counting
Recover
on
from,
to be like our nest egg or anything. It's kind of is what it is.
I might actually take her course during the summer, with the friend discount and all. Discount that's 100% off. If you're watching this, friend, you know who I'm talking about. So yeah, I'll ask if they can take a friend.
All right, I
Learn
think
more
that's
about that. Yeah.
I think that's it for this episode. This is the Living Numbers Podcast, and I am your host, Tony Rambles. Make sure you all like, share, subscribe, download.
Yeah.
I'm on YouTube, Apple, Spotify,
Everything.
Breaker, Radio,
Yep.
Radio Public.
And Tony, thank you so much for having me. This
Of
was
course.
typical conversations between us
Yeah.
two. So it's good to just see what
All we
that's
do is
like.
just talk shop all the time.
Literally back and forth. That's all we do. And I learned something that you play the guitar.
Yes, I am a guitarist.
Yes. Oh, okay. Let's go with that. He's a guitarist. And on that note, bye y'all.
See y'all in the next one.